videos where you have an officer basically around the neck area.
These two retired Vegas cops, now podcast hosts.
They don't have ID, they can't get into a hotel room. To get them the help they need, especially if someone even gets arrested. A lot of people don't know how the justice system works.
You guys have going on is necessary, it's needed.
Hey everybody, this is David Kohlmeier, the Problem Solver. How are you today? Today is Thursday, approximately 4:30. We are live here at Stinky Pot Studio, 215 in Rainbow. It's very, very sticky here today. As usual, I have some amazing co-hosts. I have Laura to my right.
Hello, good to be here.
Hello. She did the, it's kind of the London.
That would be like maybe cruise ship.
Cruise ship.
The beauty pageant,
Yeah.
like in a parade wave.
Then we have Danny Miner to my left.
And thank you for having me again, Dave.
Danny did a great job the last, I think it was a week or two that you covered for me.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. You did amazing.
2 weeks.
I liked it. It was like a good break. I finally got a break after 18 months. And then we have lovely Gentil.
Hey.
Gentil is in the house.
Back in the house.
So thanks so much for everyone joining today. Today was an interesting day for me in general. It's been a little crazy. I was actually talking just a minute ago before that, the whole point of the Problem Solver also is to do a little bit of reward money in order to kind of prevent crime from happening and solving crime and some different things. And I won't go into much of it today, but there was a reward that basically one of our attorneys, was involved in, and like a hit and run situation. I found that the person got arrested.
Wow.
And because of the reward money, and it's very interesting because they said they would come on one of the shows and talk about how they heard the information. The guy's in jail, but he did kill somebody.
Wow.
It was a hit and run case. So it's kind of interesting, the problem solving in regards to reward money and trying to make a difference and getting justice for people. And I know we'll talk about that a little bit today in regards to a situation that didn't happen here in Las Vegas, but somewhere else. But I do believe that the problem solver, because Danny and I are retired cops, that we always go back to, and I was telling this to Gentil on the phone, that we always go back to crime-related, aspects because we were cops.
Right.
But, it's always great to have these different topics. But, I always laugh that we can't always talk about sex every single week. I know that's
Yes,
Danny's.
we can.
It's Danny's favorite topic is sex. So
There's a lot to talk about
Sex
in that
and
area.
debauchery. That's everyone's
my
favorite
thought
topic.
process, maybe it should be like crime every other week and then sex every other week, just to help, so we don't need
What
therapy.
about
in the long
sex
run.
crimes? Then we.
There you go.
That's true.
That's a tough one, the sex crime.
Yeah.
That's one we probably gotta stay away from.
Okay.
But anyway, so biggest thing in the news really is I know it's another state, but 4 college students were stabbed to death. Danny, fill us in on what took place.
This is very weird. I don't know if any of you has heard about it. 4 young college kids in their 20s. They go home after, it looked to me like they were out for the bar for the night. Then they went to a food truck. You know how when you're drunk at 2 o'clock in the morning, everybody goes to eat before you go home. So they showed them at this food truck. 4 of them go home, and they are all stabbed to death.
Wow.
And here's the weird thing. 2 people were in the house also sleeping that were not touched. We're not hurt. We're not taking hostage, nothing. And here's the other weird thing. Right before I got on here, I heard it took them 4 to 6 hours to call the 911 after this happened.
How many hours?
So they were
4 to
they were
6
asleep.
hours.
Suspect.
Were they sleeping or?
I don't know. I mean, how do you not hear 4 people being stabbed to death?
What time was it around?
Well, it had to be in the morning because I think had to be 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning because they got home from the bar at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
But it's all weird. They do have a guy, you could see the 2 girls at the food truck, and they ordered her food. And when she's ordering, you could hear she has, she was drinking because you could tell the way she's talking. And then they leave and get in an Uber, and you could actually see a guy follow them.
Oh.
They're not sure if that guy is following them or not, but there was a guy following them on the video. You could see it.
In a car.
No, he was just following them on foot.
Oh, they're walking.
Yeah,
Okay.
he might have been looking at them while they were at the food truck.
Oh, wow.
It's just weird. It's totally weird.
Well, but, okay. I mean, I can understand if you're fast asleep, right?
Right.
Whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. and you're just completely out and someone comes and actually just stabs you. There's no way. You won't make a sound.
Yeah, you basically you're dead. And by the way, what if they're really heavy sleepers, other people in the house?
Absolutely.
I have slept through a car accident where the car was totaled. I have slept through falling out of a bunk bed, and I woke up in the morning.
Wow.
See?
So there are some heavy sleepers out there like
absolutely.
myself.
I mean, and then whoever the killer is just moved to the next person quietly, stab them, they're dead.
Yeah.
You know.
Supposedly the person's
that's
still
crazy.
outstanding as well. I was just checking online.
No, they don't know. They didn't even have a suspect.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, the one thing that kind of makes me nervous these days, and I was talking about this earlier today, I was on actually another podcast with a local realtor. Things are just more violent, you know, and I know that you're big into firearms and protecting yourself. And I just feel like the world has kind of changed. And just things are more violent, whether it's in New York City, other places. You know, I was saying that, you know, not to get into politics, but a lot of these Democratic states are allowing, you know, the jail reform and allowing people to basically
Released on
release
bail.
them or mentally ill people that are out there.
Yeah.
What's your take, John T, on that? What's your thoughts on what's going
man.
on? What's going on in the world?
Well,
with violence.
I try not to read or focus too much on violence. I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV at all. Like, I'll watch maybe a show every so often, you know, when I'm trying to go to bed. But I don't watch news, so I don't really know what's going on. The only time that I know some news is when it kind of pops up on my social media feed.
Right.
And then I'll just kind of click on it and maybe learn a little bit about it. But I don't know. I mean, the world, I think, has always been pretty animalistic, right? From a long time ago. It's just, I think now with media, we get to hear about it quite a bit, you know, and always, or as often as in our face all the time. So I don't know.
Do you normally like to carry a firearm since in the state it's...
Well,
what's your
I
take on
mean,
that?
I actually do open carry if I am going to carry. I have several cars. Unfortunately, I don't take them with me every single time because I have to switch cars a lot, right? So I don't think about it. But if I'm going on a road trip or something, then I do open carry. I don't have a concealed license on purpose. Now, people that know me know why I don't want to get a concealed license.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
I don't.
I don't.
Oh, you want to know?
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
you can explain why.
Okay. So I have a theory, okay, and this is from history anyway. So
Actually, if you don't mind sharing, I know
Yeah.
it's very personal to you, but if you don't mind sharing your story of why.
Oh,
the past
well,
and
you
family.
know, okay, so I came from a war-torn country, and the government there did a lot of different things. I mean, I was a baby, but I hear the stories from my mom before she passed, and from a lot of other refugees during that time, right? And so it's very systematic what the government does. And they brainwash you a little bit at a time, right? And if they're going to disarm you, they're going to do it a lot of different ways. In the beginning, it's always, hey, you know, we're here for you. I want you to turn everything in, you know, everyone, you know, we're here to protect you and stuff like that, right? So my theory on the concealed carry is that if anything happens in our country here, right, like martial law, for example, people that have to conceal are the ones that the government knows that you have a weapon for sure.
Right.
Right. I understand that when you buy guns and ammo, I mean, or not ammo, but guns, you're going to have to register it, right?
Right.
But you don't have to register everything.
Right.
Right. But there's a list that they
Right.
would go to first. That's my take on it, and that's why I won't get a concealed carry. But
Because
I understand.
Then the government knows that you have it, and then
Absolutely.
they would come to you first, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. So don't tell anyone I have all these weapons.
Shh.
So,
Your
Laura,
secret's safe
Laura,
with us.
what's your feeling, even though you have psychic ability, and you know when violence is going to come near you? I mean, how
Well-
do you feel? How do you feel in regards to, like, do you feel safe when you walk the streets of Las Vegas?
I use my intuition about, you know, what to do and where to go. And I would say I'm more protected, but I'm not completely. So, for example, there was a time when I felt I was going to get some kind of attack, but I didn't necessarily know what or from who, and I was roofied.
Oh my
Instead of
God.
physically attacked, it was like, it was a type of attack, right?
Yeah.
But it kind of came in, I just wasn't expecting it in that way. So, but whenever I feel something coming, I always ask for guidance and I ask for extra protection. So even though I was roofied, I wasn't sexually assaulted, which I'm very grateful for. So I was protected
Were you at a
in
party?
that way. I was at an event, actually. It was really interesting. I was hired as a psychic for an event. And then afterwards there was a party. So I was at the party and I was drinking alcohol. I don't drink anymore. And so everyone just thought I was just wasted because if you don't know about roofing, that it can seem like someone's just kind of out of their mind drunk.
Right.
And that's what people assumed because I was drinking. I would
Right.
never have gotten that, you know, drunk like that at a professional event.
Right.
Right.
But they didn't know that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And thankfully, I literally passed out. Like I passed out like
there.
vomited and literally passed out on the ground.
Wow.
And someone from the hotel where the event was taking place found a woman that worked there. He was a man, and he carried me to my room because I was completely unconscious.
Oh my gosh.
So, again, I'm grateful it didn't turn out worse. But I think I'm even better now because that was several years ago about kind of being protected and interpreting what's happening. But asking angels for protection is key. I'm with you, Shanti, though. I do not feel that it's a good idea for just one group to have guns. That just it just makes me nervous.
Right.
Have you guys ever been roofied?
No.
You hope.
No,
You wish.
my ex-husband got roofied
Really?
to be robbed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true. I didn't even think of that.
As a cop here in Henderson, I've actually had people where they came home from the strip and there were some young girls.
Yeah.
They were naked, and they basically answered the door and they were like, they didn't know what was going on. So I've had some cases, but they always, since Henderson's a suburb city, they were coming back from the strip and it was early in the morning and I felt really bad, for these people. But, you know how hard it probably is to track down somebody that actually
Right.
put a pill, in the strip, in the casino,
And they don't remember where they were probably
don't
because I
remember
had missing time
Yeah.
where I literally had conversations on Facebook and things like that where I don't have any recollection. It's really
Wow.
fascinating.
The truth is you got to be very, very careful. It's funny. Well, it's not funny, but I saw something online there. They make this thing if you go out, which female is going to remember to buy this, but it's kind of like a little bit of a plastic thing to put in your cup. So if you go out to a bar, that nobody can slip something in there.
Yeah.
Well, what I do always at a bar or a club or any lounge or whatever, when I always have a napkin over my drink with my straw sticking out.
Well, that's smart.
So yeah, but if I'm at a club, if I go anywhere, I'm taking my drink with me. If I still want it, if I don't want it, I'm going to leave it there.
Right.
Yeah, I've always done this for years because I've been roofied about
And
3 times.
It can also happen while you're holding
I
it.
was younger.
I have always had the principle that I don't set my drink down. And I think that the guy roofied it while I was holding it.
Right.
So it's someone really close to you then.
Oh, I think I know who did it, but I can't prove it because there's no evidence.
The 3
Yeah.
times that it happened to you, if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
what was the end result? Like, what do you remember?
Oh, God, nothing. No, I remember everything, actually. Each time I can hear everything. I know exactly what's going on, but you're just like, what they do is they use a liquid, and it was, the bodybuilders used to take it to replenish their muscle or whatever, so they took it at night. I forgot what it's called right now, but it's liquid form.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you remember, like, them doing? Or
Oh, and they didn't do anything. I think they just did it to see people that can get like really intoxicated and fucked up. So I was just passed out on the bar like this. My head was literally on the bar, and then I would run to the bathroom, gather enough strength to run to the bathroom every time I needed to throw up.
Oh
So
my
you're
God.
so I was at a bar, so they didn't take me out of it. Okay, so one time it was someone I knew for sure because he was the only one that was hanging out with me. So I think he did it to get back at me or whatever. He was an ex, but and we're talking about almost 30 years ago, so it's not like
Right.
just now. But you hear everything. Your senses are still with you, but you're just like a dead fish. You're just
And there's different date rape drugs that have different principles. So in my case, I have no memory and I completely was unconscious.
My God.
But that's saying they probably slip it in your alcohol, right? So it
Yeah.
makes it like 100 times more powerful. So even if
Stronger.
you just have one drink or even half a drink, that GHB, that's what it was. Yeah. So GHB was the big
Wow.
thing. Yes. And they can just throw it in your drink, really, from afar, even.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think everyone has to be really careful, especially
Or-
in Las Vegas and the strip. Anywhere where you go these days,
Anywhere.
especially who you're with, you don't know.
could
Who,
be walking in a crowd and someone could put it in your drink. You
Absolutely.
know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm coughing.
You all right?
Yeah. Okay. So everyone's going to be careful in general wherever they go. The one case that I wanted to bring up today, especially with your background in regards to psychic ability, I was Danny actually. You mentioned this case a while ago. The case that's in Orlando, Florida, which is Casey Anthony, which is the mother of Kaylee Anthony, who appears to be killed in 2008, right?
Right.
Why don't you know pretty much the case in general. Tell us a little bit about the case, and then I had an idea in regards to something that maybe we can do, but I was just curious. Tell us a little bit about the
Okay.
case.
Well, Casey Anthony, her daughter ended up being missing. They're from Florida. Her name is Kaylee. And what happened was the girl was missing for months. She doesn't tell anybody that her child's missing. Could you imagine having a child and not telling anybody? Yeah. Okay? Finally, somehow, after her parents put pressure on her, where's Kaylee? She was telling her, I gave her to somebody's watching her for me. Somebody's doing this. She had all kind of excuses. So after 4 months, they realized this kid's missing. The parents call the authorities. And then I don't know if it was I believe it was a Federal Express guy found the body. Federal Express, mail guy, something like that. Somebody that was working pulled on the side of the road. He smelled something. He saw something in the woods, went back there and found her body. So they threw her body in the woods. She goes through, but there wasn't a lot of evidence. In court, you could have you need substantial evidence to convict somebody. So the jury just couldn't put their head around convicting her. So they acquitted her. Okay? I'm not a psychic, but my personal police feeling is this kid was killed by accident. Because the mother wasn't paying attention to her. The mother was this big party animal that didn't care about her child, just went out, did drugs, got drunk every night. Yeah. And I believe the kid died by accident. And she tried to hide the fact.
She was scared.
Yes, she tried to hide the fact. Now she comes out all these years, writes a book, probably because she's broke, and now she's blaming her father for this. Her father's a retired cop. And she's saying the kid drowned while they were watching him. And then they hid the body. So she's blaming this on her poor parents.
Wow.
I mean, it's horrible.
So I quickly just did some research on it a little bit, but so do we feel that the child drowned? What's your take on that?
I think something happened, yeah.
But then they mentioned about having duct tape, on the child's mouth.
Yeah, there was
duct tape. That's why there was a murder.
What?
So I mean,
yeah, there was when they found it, but they thought maybe they did that to put the duct tape to say that there was a killer and not them too.
Oh my
a lot of people
because
said
originally said that in the beginning they said the child was kidnapped, and that's why they were saying that she lied to investigators. But I think the duct tape situation over the child. So even if the child basically died from, drowning, and then you're worried about child abuse and neglect, and being arrested for that, you wait 30 days. They say that the trunk of her car smelled of a dead body.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes.
And then.
So she had that child in the back of her trunk. Wow. You know that. I don't know. I'm sure you ladies have never smelled death before.
No.
But once you do.
Well, I had a mouse that died on the wall.
Okay.
And I can tell you, I couldn't believe how much it stank for a tiny little mouse body. So I can only imagine a human-sized body.
Dave will tell you, it's a smell you never get rid of, right?
Yeah, so I mean, what? So the body goes in the trunk.
Yeah.
They drive it to the wooded area in a blanket, and then they place the body in the wooded area.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So do you personally think that it's her, or do you think it's the father? I mean, even if you were a cop, why would you just drive it to a local spot in a wooded area with a blanket? It doesn't make any sense.
Could you imagine not reporting your kid's missing for 4 months, not reporting it to the police?
Yeah.
And why your kid's missing, you're out partying, drinking, doing drugs. This girl's, honestly, she needs to be in jail the rest of her life. And the sad part is she's not going to go. We talked about this before the podcast. She could say she did it. There's nothing we could do now. She was acquitted. That's how America is.
The crazy thing is that she has a whole documentary that's just coming out now. I think
she needs money.
Right.
She needs money.
How long was she in jail until this
couple years.
trial?
Couple years.
That's it?
Yeah, couple years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
But this happened in 2008, or the child was killed in 2008, right? Or died.
I think it was in the 90s, wasn't it?
No,
it's
it says
a 2008 case.
2008,
Okay.
She went
yeah.
missing July 15, 2008. There was a fake story about kidnapping June 9th.
We're talking about
And
14
then-
years. That's a long ass time.
Yep.
Has she been?
Basically, she was arrested for murder, which she pled not guilty October of 2008.
Okay.
And then, but the remains were found December 11, 2008, in the wooded area with the whole duct tape situation. So, I guess my question is this: as much as we try to be involved in these, since we're retired cops and we're trying to solve cold cases, and we have a few things that are going on right now, and then adding reward money. Even if we went out, a lot of these things we're trying to do Vegas based. But this one was kind of, a child. I was thinking about even my child that's younger as well. I guess my question is, even if you went out there to the wooded area,
right?
I guess it would be interesting just to know what really took place. Even if it's like the O.J. Simpson situation, right? Maybe we need to get O.J. on the show. You think he'll talk about it?
Remember he wrote the book. And he said in his book...
Maybe we'll just tell him that we want people to autograph his book.
In his book, look, remember after he was already, done with the case or whatever, in his book he says, I couldn't have done it alone. He basically admitted to it, I believe, right? And he said, I didn't do it alone, though. There's no way I could have done it alone. But, what, double jeopardy or something is you can't be trial again,
you
right?
Can't.
For the same case.
I'd like to try to bring him on the show just to try. I haven't done that.
Well,
That'd be good.
There's plenty of people that know him.
I know he's all
Yeah.
over Summerlin. He's
Yeah.
all over the area in
Yeah.
general. Maybe if I have some,
He's always at that outside mall up in Summerlin.
Yeah,
Maybe
he's
if I
in
have some old-
downtown Summerlin.
Yeah.
That's where he hangs out.
Yeah.
Yes.
maybe if he's trying to get some old memorabilia back, maybe he'll come here.
I don't know. He might charge you for the, appearance fee or
His
something.
the case that he went to jail was he basically stole back his like old memorabilia.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we'll-
Oh, that's right.
Maybe we'll entice him here. Like he doesn't see the cameras, and we say, "Hey, we have some old memorabilia. You want to come pick it up over at Sticky Pie Studio?" So I guess my question is this: even if my thought process, help me think this out. Even if we went down to Orlando and it was two of us, we're in the wooded area, and because of Laura's psychic ability, my question is: we walk through the area, and then Laura, like, what's your feeling? Because
Would you be
Laura's
able to
new to the
solve
show.
it?
Laura's new to the show. I mean, even if we just knew,
Yeah.
something in general. I mean, what's your take on if we took a road trip to Orlando? Danny's driving.
Yeah, I could.
Oh my God.
From Nevada, that's going to take us
that's a
about
long
5 days.
drive.
You want me to come and be the camera guy, the camera girl?
John T's the family guy.
I'm in if you guys want. I'd like to see.
I mean, I like the concept.
Can you
so,
solve it?
Yeah.
You think you'll be able to solve it, Laura?
What I can certainly do is go and see psychically what I sense from the particular occasion, and I think it could also be helpful to go not just to where the body was found, but if the address is available of like the home, and I could pick up on potentially what happened there as well.
I remember there was a pool in the backyard.
Did they find was the body too decomposed? They couldn't tell if there was water in the lungs or anything.
See, I don't think so. I think the body was way too
Yeah,
decomposed.
yeah,
I think that's what it was.
4 months, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was
will-
smelling.
Yeah, I will say. Yeah, there's definitely deception. I feel that for sure.
Right.
Well, even the judge that presided over her case,
Yeah.
I mean, he's retired now apparently, but he even said, he goes, the old story and the new story it's kind of bullshit.
Right.
Without him saying that. But
Yeah.
he said it's kind of bullshit, but he can't say anything about it.
I understand.
know?
I mean, could you imagine, like, you killed your child? Maybe it was by accident. And my gut feeling is it was by accident.
It could have been, right.
But then you lower yourself to blame your father? I mean, I don't know a lower person I've ever seen in my life that would do something like that. I can't stand the girl.
So, Superfan Steve is asking whether or not Laura can talk to the spirits in the woods.
I can talk to spirits if they show up, meaning just like you pick up a phone and you dial someone, they have to answer.
Yeah.
So I just share that
can we
because
schedule an appointment?
I have to. I can ask and try to see, but then I have to kind of wait for them to show up. But I can always ask angels and spirit guides too, even if I can't communicate with that.
So it's better to be
particular
at that
spirit.
scene, though. Does that help you?
I think being at a scene helps because I can more clearly understand the scene,
Right.
what's going on. I can do controlled remote viewing as well, but there's something about being in a space, especially as an empath, where I can really feel and sense more clearly.
There you go.
I
And
say we
wait,
go-
how far is this place? In Florida?
In Florida.
That's kind of far, right?
What
You can't
town in
drive
Florida?
there.
Florida's right next to Nevada.
Oh my God, is it really?
It's about 3,000 miles. It's close. It's like right up the road.
You can't drive there. Are you kidding me? Come on, get us on your jet.
Of course,
Dave
not. We're gonna take the-
Kohlmeier.
We're going to talk to John. We're going to take the John T jet.
You can rent a private jet here. All of us
Is
can
that-
get a private jet.
Is
I can fly.
Is that Realty One jet available?
No, Realty One doesn't have a jet.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to move over to
Yeah.
a different brokerage.
G-Toy
maybe you need to
LLC
join,
might have a jet.
Maybe you need to join like Winning Realty. They have like a jet, and they're like.
No, they don't.
Yeah, you didn't know about that.
Whatever.
I connected with Randy. He's the broker at Winning Realty. There's a jet, and he flies to Orlando. All right, so here's the concept. You let me know. So we fly out to Orlando. Now, my personal feeling is I'm always looking at dates.
Yeah.
December 11th, 2008, basically is when they found the remains. So to me, the day that the body was found, to me, is more of a day of opening spirits. I'm not a psychic. I've never been certified or trained.
December 11th?
December 11th. So it's coming up very quickly.
The anniversaries of anything,
Yeah.
they just have.
They're more likely to come back to the location, right?
Yeah, well, and
Danny,
it
did you
has
know
an
that?
energetic significance. Yeah.
Was that when the body was found?
Yeah.
Okay.
The remains were found December 11th. So I do feel December 11th is coming up 2022. So how many years later? It's 9, 10. So it's 12. It's 14 years later.
Oh, shoot.
We go out to the wooded area. We have some cameras. We have Laura do her. What I was about to say, psionic. What am I saying?
Seance?
Seance.
Seance.
John-
Psionic.
Jean T can be in some type of Indian.
You
with
want me to dance
with feathers.
naked?
You dance around
Take it around
get
the fire?
to get to dance around the fire to get the
spirits.
Does that help the spirits?
The spirits.
Can we give John T's body, like, can we levitate it or something like that to get information?
You want to sacrifice me too?
I'm going to sacrifice John T's body.
More sacrifice is going to be helpful.
Is that going to help?
No.
John T's willing to take one for the team.
I do. I do think that having
God.
people that are in tune and aware can sort of magnify the sort of psychic energies.
Okay.
The spirits would just be mad at me
So
because
do we like this? I guess my question is, so she goes there and she's going to say, would she be like, you know what, Casey Anthony, I feel that Casey Anthony killed Kaylee. Or she's going to say, I feel that Casey's father, what's his name, George
Anthony, yes.
Anthony
George
killed. I mean, basically, it's one or the other unless it's a rare one. I mean, the question is, what do we really get out of it by doing it? She's not going to go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
We know the information. It's actually crazy because I don't know of any like local story where like someone came forward because of like either OJ or this girl that says, you know what, I really killed the person. Like, what happens then?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine she came forward.
Because they killed him. OJ killed his wife and she killed her kid. That's why.
Do we, like, maybe we knock on the door as well and we try to interview her.
Come on, there's nothing in the law that says if they come out later and they actually fully admit to it that they can't get prosecuted for it again.
No.
Or nothing. Zero.
OJ could come
really
right now. He
fucked
could
up.
tell us
I
he
think so too.
he can say
Really
he
messed
brutally
up.
murdered her up and down and how he did it. There's nothing we can do.
Maybe what we need to do is we need to somehow like get in touch with Casey Anthony and say, look, we're coming out from the Problem Solver TV show and we want to interview you and we want you to come to the woods.
She's going to say who?
And
we're going to say the problem solvers.
She's going to be like, no, of course. And say we want to interview her.
We'll send Danny.
In the
Strippogram.
do
That
you
might
think?
work.
You think she would say, okay, I'll come on the show?
No.
No.
But she's doing a whole crazy show.
They're probably paying her, I
Yeah, I was
don't
gonna
know, millions
say,
of dollars.
I think
You think so?
maybe if you paid
Yeah.
her, but I
Yeah.
don't feel.
It'd
that
be
she's gonna
interesting
do
just
it
to
on her.
try to reach out to her.
Well,
and say,
I don't know if she's getting paid millions, but I would think at least
I'd like to talk to her
10, 20,
father, to be honest with you.
$50,000, really.
Okay. We could say we're doing a podcast of the Problem Solver in Orlando that we're coming out there specifically on December 11th, and basically want to see if they want to basically come on the show to talk about the death. It's been 14 years, and
It's true.
it'd be interesting just to try to see what happens. I don't know if there's anything else, so that's why I'm just putting it out
Yeah.
there. I'm just being
Yeah.
creative in regards to it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, even if there was reward money, it doesn't help the situation. Reward money
Right.
for information. I mean, it's either these 2 or 3 people, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like some stranger,
Yeah.
right?
No.
I think you might need to drop some names, though, to get in that door.
The funny thing is, even if you did reward money, you can't even get an arresting conviction anyway if
No,
she did
you
it.
can't. No,
No.
exactly.
I mean, it could just be, I mean, how do you prove it?
Yeah.
Can
How
she
do-
be prosecuted though for child neglect or abuse?
Well, so, I was thinking that too, but I think they probably added them charges on. So when she was acquitted, she's probably acquitted of all charges.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was all of it.
I
Yeah, I
see.
think.
Because they'll add the charges on. to that.
Reasonable doubt. Trust me. That's what her lawyers did.
Yeah.
They
very
did.
well.
Yeah,
apparently.
I watched
Very,
it.
very
Yeah,
well.
they did.
Yeah.
They did. And there wasn't a lot of evidence to convict her because it's a lot of, she probably did it. That's basically what you're saying. She probably did it.
Why did she say that she didn't report it sooner? Because that's such a
I know.
questionable thing with not.
She never
reporting.
took, I don't think she ever took the stand.
I'm sure they did that on
Yeah,
purpose.
Yeah, I don't think she ever did.
Yeah.
Most people don't take the stand.
Right.
All right. So if you guys have any other ideas and suggestions, or any listeners have any ideas and suggestions about how we can be helpful in regards to this case, the bottom line is, like I said, there's more violence taking place, whether it's the 4 college students stabbed to death in general, or Kaylee Anthony. I mean, again, it's like, how do you prevent these things from happening? I mean, just so much going on with the news. A lot of people don't even watch the news anymore.
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of people don't even want to hear about violence or death because it's just negative energy. But I just feel like so
Yeah.
much is going on.
I don't think there's a lot that we can do. I mean, it's just the cycle of life. And, unfortunately, you have the God and the devil, if we're going to go there. And the devil's job is to, eliminate things, or population control even, I suppose. So,
Right.
the devil's job is to have all these different types of people that's willing to do all these things, maybe to keep some kind of balance in the universe. I don't know.
Dave,
And it's
one stat that they brought out this week that I thought was crazy. If the crime keeps going as it is right now, 1 in 123 people will be murdered.
By when?
Could you imagine? I guess that's the stat right now. 1 in 123 people will be murdered. That's the way the murder stats are right now.
But it by what date? Did they say?
no.
I guess
no.
up till now. That's because of all the murders. They added up. One in 123
Okay.
people are being murdered.
Oh, I see.
I see. Currently. Okay.
Yes, currently.
That's
So that's
a lot.
That's
yeah.
insane. That's insane. Here's the thing. You want to do this bail reform? here's the thing that I totally think we should do this. People that don't commit violent crimes should not be in jail. That's just my opinion. Save the jails for violent crimes. That's who we don't want to be. If you have a drug problem, you shouldn't be in jail. We should try to get you help. I mean, and that's coming from a cop. I really believe that. We should get people help. They're not criminals. They have a drug problem. They're addicts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you stole something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be in jail for this. Keep the jails for the violent criminals. And then somebody that's nonviolent, that committed a theft, you're putting them with violent criminals. How do you think they're going to get out? They're going to be violent criminals.
Right.
It just, our system needs to be rehauled.
I think we were saying something the other day that you have to match violence with violence. Like, so if you're in prison, like, you're not going to be like, okay, let me just be a victim.
Oh, right.
You're going to match violence with
Exactly.
violence.
But here's the thing. There's a political system that has to do with, the jails and the prisons and stuff too, right? So the more people they have or the more inmates they have.
They make more money.
They make more money.
It's exactly right.
It's all about fucking money at the end of the day. Oh, sorry.
Especially the private prisons.
You're allowed to curse here.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, one last thing I wanted to bring up, which sounds crazy too, but I brought it up before, but just as a creative topic, I guess I'm in the creative mindset. A lot of people, just like this murder that took place on the Las Vegas Strip, the guy was like mentally ill. And one of the things I wanted to do, which sounds crazy, you're going to laugh. I think I brought it up to you before.
Stabber?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, the stabber.
Someone mentioned before that like the problem solving, like we should go out like on Fremont Street and try to solve people's problems and kind of go out and film basically us like walking and trying to like talk to people.
I think we should do that. Yes.
I think it would be very interesting.
I do
and
too.
I keep thinking about the cameras, like the cops have the cameras to get that video one-on-one.
Like body cam.
I think it'd be very interesting, though also it could be a little bit unsafe as well because you're dealing with mentally ill. Now also, there was a guy that was on the show here, I forgot his name. I know Superfan Steve will bring it up, but the guy who basically, it's not leaving Las Vegas, he was on the show. This was prior to you being on the show. And he was on the Strip, and he was like he felt like he was being chased by people that were like homeless people, and like he felt nervous when it was on the North Strip by like Resorts World and so on. I was actually thinking it would be an interesting challenge. Whoever would want to go, I guess me and Danny would take lead. We'll put Danny in front just so I don't get hurt. But we walked the Strip. No, we walked the Strip from like Sahara, which is like like on Naked City. We love walking. We walk from as a challenge.
That's a bad area, though. We should.
Sahara to where? To downtown?
What is it, like Circus?
Well,
that is the most like
Sahara to Circus.
Might as well go to the stratosphere and really get robbed.
Well,
right?
No, I would say start at Sahara and walk basically south, towards Tropicana.
Okay.
And just to see, do we feel safe? Do we feel unsafe? You guys can come with us as well. We'll all be armed.
Fine.
We'll be armed.
Oh.
John T will take first shot.
No one is going to come approach us at all. Are you kidding me?
Why do you say that?
Come on, really?
We'll just walk slowly with a camera and just see how it is if like a regular tourist walking through, walking the Strip.
Well,
I'd say that the thing that's probably most likely to happen is someone tries to grope us.
Yeah, probably that's what you'll get.
No, we're going to be prepared.
Dave will like if he gets groped, though.
I doubt he's the one that would get groped.
You guys would be like, hey, why isn't anyone touching me? Damn it.
I normally charge for gropings, No, I just thought it would be interesting, especially because of the holiday season and it's darker. Like, maybe it would be very interesting for us to walk the Strip. Maybe
Are you
like
trying to get your exercise in too, or something? And what the hell?
He needs to get his steps in.
Yeah, 10,000.
Do you think it's interesting or no? We talked about it.
I do.
And it'll be
sound
fine.
crazy?
There's plenty of tourists that walks from exactly where you're talking about.
I mean, do we go up to people
fine.
that are homeless and try to help them as well?
You better have a lot of money then. What are you gonna have, dollars?
Why do you say that?
Because most of the problem that you're gonna encounter, especially on the street,
Homeless?
will be people that would want some money.
No, we can go up to them and say, by the way, do you need any help? Then we try to get them some help. We could work with a Shine a Light. We could work with some nonprofits. Actually, today I got a phone call from somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, we could ask someone else to go out there as well with us. You know,
Yeah.
And just walk the Strip. But basically, we have cameras on us as we're walking the Strip to see what people are encountering, whether it's safe, whether it's not safe.
Yeah.
Right.
But I was thinking more towards the later, darker hours. Now it's like 5 o'clock.
So are you talking about approaching like homeless people
anybody.
mainly?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you realize
There's
that?
two aspects. I mean, you could just walk and see what happens.
Yes.
Like as a tourist. And then the other aspect could be walking and trying to help.
Right.
We could start off with just walking and just seeing, do we feel unsafe?
Sure.
I think it would be more unsafe walking from Sahara going northbound down to downtown.
I got another idea. Why we're doing
for
this?
sure.
We
Yes.
should stop random people. I'll stop random people
Okay.
and just interview them and say, "Hey, from the Problem Solver TV show, do you feel safe when you're walking the strip? Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Arkansas.
Okay.
You know, I come here twice a year. No, it's got more. I think crime.
Oh,
has
that'd
went
be
up.
cool.
Yeah, why don't we do that too?
Yeah.
If we're down there, let's do some interviews too.
Okay.
Yeah. I personally probably would feel more comfortable with just kind of walking versus approaching people.
I agree.
As a woman, I don't know. I'm a bit more cautious.
Dave's
Right.
he's a black belt in karate though, right?
I'm actually a black belt
Brown.
in verbal judo.
Brown.
I can talk anybody out of anything. I mean, I will share with you. I mean, I would bring, I'd be prepared. God forbid something happens. Of course, concealed. Like I would bring handcuffs. And I'd bring
Okay.
pepper spray and a taser. I'd be
Handcuffs. You bring them with you.
No, I would be
Furry
prepared
ones?
because
I don't have handcuffs.
The truth is, Shanti has several handcuffs. She can
Yeah,
get.
I can loan you some. You want furry, black, white, red?
Which one you want, furry or pink?
Yeah. Which one?
The truth about it is, that most people carry firearms, but they don't carry handcuffs. Most people are mentally unstable. You put a pointed gun at them, they're going to say, "Shoot me." The truth about it is, you're going to go hands on, or you're going to wind up hitting them with the gun. If you need handcuffs to actually detain somebody, the gun does. People always think there's this perception of a gun.
Yeah.
Actually, detaining somebody or like someone that gets violent, you can't always shoot everybody.
Did you ever take action off duty?
Try to think about it. I mean, I don't really think.
That's a
The
no.
problem as a cop, you never want to get involved off duty unless it's like something very serious, like substantial
Yeah.
bodily harm or death.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever. Have you had
Yes.
major?
I had to actually fight somebody off duty.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'll tell you the story real quick.
Yeah,
If you
go for
mind,
it.
what
Yeah.
time? We're good?
We got time, go.
All right, real quick. Here's the story. I'm over at my parents' house, totally off duty. Just going to visit my mom and dad, right? I'm a cop maybe about 4 or 5 years. My mother had to go outside to the car. I forget she forgot something in the car, whatever. I hear her go out to the car. She runs in. I'm just laughing and talking to my dad, And my mom says, "There's somebody in the alley killing somebody." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "There's somebody in the alley killing somebody." I go outside. There's this guy beating a girl in our alley. And my mother has, you know what hedges are? Okay?
Yeah.
Throws her over our bushes into our yard, in my parents' yard, okay? Beating her. Her hair is like all burnt. He lit her on fire. He threw lighter fluid in her hair and threw a match on her.
Oh, my God.
Her hair was all burnt. I come flying. I'm in my shorts. I just actually came from the gym, right? So I pull my badge out. And I said to them, "I'm off-duty cop, stay right there, blah, 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 blah." I tell my mom to call the state police because we were in state police's jurisdiction where we were. They had no local police. It was out, you know what I mean? They didn't have local. So I said, "Call the police."
Call the
Told
deer
this-
police.
Yeah, I said, call the deer. I tell the guy, "Don't go in there." Guy kept coming towards me. I had to slam him.
Wow.
I was a lot bigger back then. You know what I mean? I had to slam him. I held him there. The state police got there. I had to choke him. I mean, the guy was fighting me the whole time. It was insane. But yeah,
Wow.
and here's the best part. I go to court. What do you think happened at court?
They threw out the charges.
The girl never showed up for court. Wouldn't testify against him. He burned her and
Idiot.
everything. Yep, wouldn't show up for
Yeah.
court or
She
anything.
might have been
Yeah.
afraid, though.
I'm sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the problem with it. It's like sometimes they're afraid of further retribution,
Yep.
and so it's like they're like trying to protect themselves. So
Yep.
I it's terrible, but I understand.
Yeah.
By the way,
There's a new
She's probably
doc.
still banging him. Jesus.
Oh,
after that beating.
maybe. I mean,
By the way, the one thing I forgot to say is, when the stabbing happened, when that girl died on the strip,
Yeah.
I was thinking of different because I do different news releases saying how like the Problem Solver show urges the because you went on, you did a TikTok, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I was going to say that we urge the sheriff to get mental health caseworkers to walk the strip and to help homeless. It's not just the police, right?
Yes.
So it's getting more mental health caseworkers to be walking the strip and the homeless. Helping more than what was a cop going to do, Now, out here, you probably don't know this. There's something called CIT officers, which is a crisis intervention team officer, CIT. So if someone has the mental health, like if you call the police right now and said, "Look, I'm thinking about killing myself," they would try to send the CIT officer first. Even motor officers, some are CIT trained. So they would send the CIT officer first, even if he was on a motorcycle compared to a patrol cop, whoever's closer by.
Yeah.
They normally send CIT. There's a pin. I went to the training as well. So they have a little bit more training. They've been through the CIT training class, which a lot of different states have that. So, but I do really believe it's not really just the police. Really need someone that's either they're helping homeless, Shine a Light, which they've been on the show as well, and I love those guys. They go through the tunnels. There's no police. They don't have any weapons.
Right.
They just go out and like, "Shine a light. We're here to help." They just talk to people, and then when it's their time to come out.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a very interesting experience. They call it like social experiment
Right.
for us to go out. I think it'd be interesting. I think now we're coming towards Thanksgiving in December. Maybe we can help some different people.
Yeah.
I think it'd be something a little bit different, to change it up a little bit. If you ladies want to come out
That'd
as
be
well, of
interesting.
course, we would take lead. Danny would be in front.
Okay.
And then,
I mean, we'll probably get hit on by
No,
those
I-
homeless
I mean,
people.
that-
they'll probably try to go out on a date
actually,
with us.
I'll be honest with you. No, go
that's
ahead.
what's
Totally.
You're gonna probably get a lot of dates, a lot of offers from different homeless
No,
people.
I swear to God,
like
we
your last
have.
story,
We
right?
talked
Yeah,
about
we
this
talked
last
about
week.
this, yeah.
We
She
both
normally
have.
gets hit on, but a lot of homeless people, 95 and
Yeah.
Decatur.
Not just homeless people, to be clear, but yes, it has happened. Where they're like, "Can I have some money? Oh, will you go out with me?" And you're like, "Wait a second, how's this going?"
How did this just change? to
Well,
get-
after
yeah.
the show, I mean, a lot of homeless people are hitting up on me if they actually watched the show.
No, I did see that. That's why I brought it up. So, what do you think? You think it's a good idea?
I think it's a great idea.
If you guys have some creative ideas with it, like I said, I'm just throwing it out there. I think it would be interesting. It's an old idea that had an idea from doing Fremont Street. I mean, we could think about the different territory. I think the strip would be good. Fremont, it'd just be very interesting,
I'll tell you another thing.
especially during the holiday season.
I think we should start doing this also. Like we're talking about Casey Anthony today, right? Maybe I go out on the strip on a Wednesday, videotape me interviewing is Casey Anthony in here, maybe interview 6-7 people, and we could play it here. Anytime we have a big topic, I could go to the strip a day before and tape something, and then we could do the video with Chase.
No, it's a good.
Wow,
I mean,
that's
I think,
dedication.
I would do it just to make
That's
the show
amazing.
better.
I
would.
I think it'd be cool for me and Danny specifically go out. Like, I feel better having like more of a backup. Me and him in general. I think we can handle ourselves. But I think we need to be prepared though in general.
I can
And
look
if you
like a boy.
If you want to come out, no, you two.
Combine-
Would you guys want to come
I
out?
can bind this area. I can wear a hat. Trust me, I can look like a boy.
Would you guys want to come out and do it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I would, but I think I would feel into
don't have
it
to.
that day and also just see how it goes as you progress. One of the things I want to say, I think it's really important to ask someone, do you want help? Like,
Yeah.
and not try to force it, because I really
Exactly.
believe in people's free will and choice. And we actually had a really weird interaction. Dave, do you mind talking about what happened when we went
Oh
out
yeah,
to,
we can tell
to
that story.
eat?
Yeah.
So we were having a lunch meeting, and it was really an awkward situation. We came out after we were at this like normal restaurant, standing outside, just finishing up our meeting, and this woman follows,
heard this.
and
Oh,
she
yeah.
comes up and she starts speaking to me into Eastern European language, which I don't think it was Russian because I would have probably recognized it for some Eastern European language. And I said, "I'm sorry, I don't speak that language. I'm American." She's like, "I'm American too." And then she says, "Do you need help?" She says to me, and I'm like, "No, I'm good." Like, I'm kind of like, "What is going on?" And then she kind of repeats the question, and I'm like, "No, I'm fine."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "This one's weird." Get in the car. She follows Dave to his car, and then I get in my car and drive to his car to make sure that
Yeah.
he's okay. Because I'm like,
What happened? What happened? She thought you were
basically,
sex trafficking her.
Yeah, I told her.
Right.
I said, "Listen, walk to your car. I'll follow you," because
Yeah.
the girl was basically being a little crazy.
What did she say to you?
Then
that
she said
girl?
to me, she goes, "Are you trafficking her?" She said,
Oh my God.
She asked if I was trafficking Laura.
Wow.
And I said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Are you interested?"
You did not say that.
He did.
No, I said, "Listen." I said,
Oh
"You're
my
nuts."
God.
I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
As a
Because she
cop,
was so serious, so you didn't really joke. Yeah.
they said what she said to me was that they were calling the police inside.
yes.
But it was weird. She sounded nuts. But I tried to do a verbal stun. Not that it always works with mentally ill, and I think she was a little bit mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, before we went in to the restaurant, there was another mentally ill guy that was there too, sitting on the side before
I
we
don't
went
remember
in.
that.
What classy place did Dave take
I don't
you
know.
to?
Where was this? Is this in the hood?
This was like the best.
It's so classy.
This
it
was the
sounds
best
like
hot dog
classy
stand place.
meeting.
The best hot dog place in Henderson.
What in the world?
We actually went to.
Dave.
You ever been to a Black Mountain Grill? It's at Summit at Sunridge in Eastern. It's actually a nice place. I love sushi.
Yeah, I've been
It's a
there.
nice place.
I was there.
But there was like so basically I have
Like
two
normal
mentally.
place.
I
I
have
was
two
dressed
mentally
normally.
unstable
I
people.
wasn't dressed like, sexy or anything. Like,
So long story
my
short, what I did say to
God.
the woman, I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
And she wouldn't leave, even doing like a verbal shock, verbal stun they call it. And then she followed me in my car. I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with this girl?" I'm like, so I get, she's watching me. I get in my car, and as I'm driving off, she's like following me on foot. This is like
Wow.
mentally unstable people. And
Yeah.
I guess I picked the right places when I take people out.
She was inside the restaurant, right?
She was inside. She
Okay.
walked outside.
Yeah.
One thing that was actually funny, which I don't think she got in the beginning. This girl had a shirt that said "Sushi Master."
Oh, really?
yeah.
So she comes out. She says something like in Slavnik or something. And I said, "By the way, are you the sushi master?" Because the shirt says "Sushi Master." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Are you the sushi master?" And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Your shirt says you're the sushi master." And then she, I was trying to be like comical, but to see if she knew that what the shirt was. And she had to look down. She
Yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
know. I mean, basically, we got a bunch of crazy, mentally unstable people, whether in Henderson or Las Vegas. And this is the problem with our society.
Yeah.
You know,
and she was asking me if I need help, and I'm like, no. But I'm like, listen, I said no, I'm good. Like,
That's funny. Wait, she didn't work there, right?
No,
she was just a
I mean, she's
patron.
like, yeah.
Okay.
So we both drove up. It was definitely,
She was pissed out because you were fucking with her.
I mean, no,
what
and she
happened.
came out specifically for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we did walk around the place a little bit because I used to go there as a cop.
Okay.
And I used to eat their lunch. I was showing around, so it's kind of a cool little spot. People were looking at both of us. I mean, I had a yellow pad here, and I'm
Yeah.
walking around with her, like, what am I pimping her out with a yellow? I'm walking around with like a yellow pad.
What are your skills?
Like, yeah. So, long
Write
story
these
short,
down.
the bottom line is, look, this goes to show you that people are nuts.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is you got to be careful wherever you go.
People are nuts. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the story.
Yeah.
so
Otherwise-
I will say I generally am careful with being out in public, kind of like
Yeah.
the general public, just because it only takes a little bit for the crazy. So if we did this, I'd be open, and then if it got crazy, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go.
Yes. Aww.
Anyway, so anyone that's listening, please be careful out there. Like I said, it is a little bit crazier out there in general. So there's two things that we're going to work on for the Problem Solver Show. One is basically going to be the December 11th. I'll work on some of these things by trying to see if I can even message Casey Anthony, which sounds crazy for me to say
You
that,
should
but,
do it,
Never
though.
but we'll try. And then from there, we could talk about going out there. If you could try to look up some information like where the body was and
Yeah.
stuff like that. If we go out there and not
I
to waste
forget.
time.
Do you know what town it was in
It's
Florida?
Orlando.
Oh, it was Orlando?
Yeah, you could stop
Okay.
off in the woods and then you could go to Disney World after that.
All right, let's do that. We'll go to Disney World.
And then,
great.
and then let's talk about getting some cameras set up for the strip. I think we should do Fremont, and we could do the strip. We could do two, or
Yeah.
something like that. I think it'd be an interesting.
Wait, are you going to
experience.
have one of those, like investigative camera? I mean, you can't have a big,
I think we should.
crew
I think we
following
should
you
more
around.
have the camera like on us.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No
Like,
one's
not-
going to talk to you when you have a big old
Yeah.
camera.
Kind of like the police, kind of just the square box one.
Right.
Like, hey, how you doing with the Problem Solver TV
Yeah.
show?
Oh,
And
okay.
we wanted to see if you're okay, if you need any help,
Wow.
and see what type of like services that we could provide.
Big budget here in Problem Solver.
We should maybe bring
Go to
some.
the strip was a 5
Maybe we
minute
should
ride.
bring some like water with stuff like that. Honestly,
yeah.
honestly, give
There
them.
you go.
You know what
I mean, we could have, the shine a light. I'm sure maybe one or two of those people would come out
Right.
with us. I could set that up.
maybe go to
Two
Costco,
guys.
get some energy bars, water.
They have actually Shine a Light has all this stuff already set up.
Okay.
so we could have two of them come with us, but maybe we take a lead
All right,
and just basically see what happens. But look, we would do certain things. We could help certain people,
especially
you
for
know?
the holidays. It'd be nice.
Yeah,
if we could
absolutely.
help people. Yeah.
So I would probably say, because Thanksgiving's coming up, like between Thanksgiving and like Christmas,
Let's
those
do it.
4 weeks, let's try it out. I think it'd be interesting. These days, even though we want to help,
Mm-hmm.
I think these days on social media they call it more of like a social experiment. But the goal really is for us to help people,
Yeah.
and it would be an interesting. I think it would be an interesting experience.
Yes.
You could be with us in spirit wise. And then we'll just take John T for sacrificing. If we need to sacrifice somebody by naked city and get out that line, take John T. We're out of here. Danny, get in the car. Let's go. John
Yeah.
T, good luck with that.
Sure. I'll be just fine.
She's always sacrificing stuff. I love it.
Yeah, I'm sacrificial.
She's one
lamb.
for the team, for the problem solver.
Always, honey.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
is there any other topics? I know that tonight we have an event over. If anyone wants to come at the Aria Hotel, it's pinkpartycelebration.com. It does start at 6 o'clock, which is a little bit.
Yeah.
Technically goes to 9. I think it may end short from 6 to 8 if anyone wants to go that's listening.
Yeah, come by. That's why I'm wearing pink today, guys.
Jean T is wearing pink.
I'm ready.
Danny's got pink underwear.
Yeah, pink underwear.
Pink
Pink
lips.
G-string.
Laura's got pink lips.
Yes.
I got a pink tie that I'll be wearing.
Awesome.
So
Ooh,
again,
ooh. I'm sorry for
go ahead.
interrupting.
Go ahead.
Okay, Laura.
Yes.
Y'all have to vote for her. She only has 2 more
Oh,
hours
yeah,
in this
yeah,
contest.
yeah.
So please, if you can
Yes.
log on to Facebook and
Thank
find
you.
Laura Powers.
Yes,
Right?
I think we're going to post the link, but basically I'm in this contest, which is Fabulous Over 40. Yes, I'm over 40. So I'm in this contest, and I'm in the group finals, and only the person in first place goes on to the next round, and I'm currently in second, or at least when we started the show.
Free vote, okay? Please just go on. It'll take like 1 second of your time. So please vote for Laura.
Awesome.
And it's also a fundraiser for cancer. So
Oh, yes.
the
Oh,
whole
that's
event
good.
is...
Perfect.
so you're going to be coming tonight?
Yeah.
Superfan Steve should be coming tonight as well. But he's,
no way. Superfan Steve's getting out.
He's always scared. But he should
Wow.
be coming.
Probably wants
Are
to
you
come.
coming too or no?
I will, but I have something later, so only for the first part.
I think
Yeah.
Beja said she's coming too, right?
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, I appreciate you guys joining the show today, and every single week, every Thursday, going live, talking about different problems. If anyone has ideas and suggestions for what we talked about, please message us. Again, the problemsolver.vegas, 702-999-1111. Please let us know if you have any ideas and suggestions. Janti's always willing to sacrifice herself. So if you have any ideas and suggestions, we will martyr Janti.
Everyone is happy
like-
when Janti comes. It's not that funny because y'all heard it already.
It's still funny.
These jokes are getting no.
I
They're never old when they come from you.
no.
Okay, so thank you so much, Laura. Thank you so much, Janti,
My pleasure.
for joining us today.
Thanks for having
Danny,
us.
as usual, thanks for the last 2 weeks. It's kind of been interesting.
Hey, it was
You've been
fun.
helping
These
out.
girls
It's been
helped
good.
me. Without these girls, it wouldn't have been a success.
Yeah.
Honestly, it wouldn't have been.
Imagine if you were by yourself. You're just like talking to yourself.
It would have been horrible. Without Junti and Laura, it would have been horrible.
No, these guys-
they were great, and especially Frank last week. Frank was good.
Yeah, no, I did watch it.
Yeah.
It was great. It was really
Yeah,
funny.
Frank was good.
And then maybe next time we could do the cantaloupes for real.
Yeah, for real, right? You're
like-
going to show us for real?
Well, Dave wasn't here. Dave said he'll do it.
Oh, cunning
I'll do
yeah,
lingus.
Dave
We all-
wasn't here.
We should all do it.
What are
We
you
need the
guys doing?
pro. We need the pro.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
Oh, you weren't here
I
last
wasn't
week.
here. so-
Cunning
Oh, my
lingus
God.
101. Cunning lingus 101.
Oh, I
John
see.
T was showing.
I missed an
So
exciting
every
show.
other week, sex crimes. And then-
Absolutely.
So next week it's sex for Danny. We only do the sex stuff for Danny.
Okay. Only. That's
Only
not
for
what I
them.
heard.
All right, so we'll see you next week on the Problem Solver Show. If you have a problem, please let us know. David Kohlmeier, the Problem Solver. See you next week and be safe, be careful.